It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by AgileDad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started. Throughout my lifetime, I have experienced many relationships with my spouse, prior to being married with girlfriends or acquaintances or friends and with other people. And one of the things that always interested me was that the difference in the experience that gift giving brought. Growing up in the South, where birthdays were a huge occasion and everyone went above and beyond, it was just, it was different doing things there than it is doing things in the Midwest or in the West or even in Florida, the Deep South. So, my question that stemmed from this is how can we, or is there a set of principles that we can apply on this agile, not so agile episode of the Daily Stand Up Podcast that transforms gifts that you give into relationship boosters or personal development tools? One might think it's rather nerdy, but I read about a couple where the boyfriend said that he would help his girlfriend completely digitally unclutter her email, which contained 15,000 emails plus, all the spam, and, get her unsubscribed and get everything cleaned up. And at first I thought that might be the nerdiest gift ever, but then I realized that was the gift of time. And that was the gift of, giving her back the freedom to choose what came into her inbox. And that's kind of a cool gift, right? But I want to give you just a few tips, 4 or 5 tips that are going to help you invest in relationships that will help you make sure the gifts you give are the best they can be. All right, number 1, make the receiver feel seen. I mean, I'm not talking just seen, I'm talking truly seen. So, if you think about the 7 wonders of the world, there are several reasons why the Hanging Gardens of Babylon are considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Their colossal beauty, the innovation of their design, the role of Babylon in the birth of civilization, and the mystery of whether the place ever even really existed. However, what makes that place truly special is the story behind it. Around 600 BC, King Nebuchadnezzar II's wife, Amadis, missed the mountains and the plants of her homeland. So, as a gift, the king had the gardens built for her. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go out and build a multi-million-dollar monument whenever a friend feels sad or lonely. But just like Nebuchadnezzar did, tuning into the other person's feelings, turning into the desires of their heart and personality, and understanding and offering your gift as a response to them can make all the difference. Most of us, if not all of us, have experienced at some point or another in our lives the impact that empathy can have in relationships, in our individual well being. Let's just say it feels amazing. And often it feels incredibly healing to be listened to be understood, and to know that our pain or joy matters to others. In a society where so much of the approval we get comes from empty social media likes, Facebook friends or Meta friends and connections, and pay closer attention to our phones than we do our own presence, which we often feel pressured to please and live up to somebody else's standards or expectations. The gift of being seen, being known, being understood has really become a commodity. And you can use this principle when offering gifts. If you just focus your attention on the person whom you're offering a gift, it's going to be a lot easier to make sure that you have the right gift. Pay attention to the receiver's behaviors, likes, dislikes, requests, wish lists, habits, traits. Figure out what makes them tick and what makes them happy. And take the time to write down their name, write down a little bit about them, create a quick persona, and write down some ideas that you have for gifts. And don't act on them right away. Putting it on a piece of paper triggers ideas that you may not have thought of otherwise. And if you go about doing it this way, it's going to help you really show whether you understand the other individual or not. After all, what's better proof that you know them and care about their desires than this sheet of paper in the end, right? Okay, coming out number 2, make it mutual. I believe it was Stephen Covey who said the key to life is to serve other people. That is the source of true happiness, not pleasure. And if you go into some religious facts, whether you're going into Buddhism or Hinduism, Selfless service, giving freely and authentically without expecting anything in return, is considered necessary practice for any who seek enlightenment. Therefore, authentic giving becomes one of the most liberating and joy inducing behaviors that we can have as humans. It's not uncommon for people to experience a stronger and longer feeling of happiness when giving than when getting something. The best thing of all about giving, in my opinion, though, is that we are highly empathetic beings. The happier that I feel as a giver, the more the receiver will pick up on that happiness, and therefore they will be more happy and enjoy the gift. It's almost like a circular motion. So, one way to reinforce your happiness as a giver is to have fun with the process of preparing, planning, and offering or buying the gift. Make sure that you have some type of cool way that you're going to deliver the gift, or something that's going to make it personal, so that you're building a power of expectation, or anticipation rather, not expectation, and boost excitement around a gift. Find a way to raise expectations and make it a surprise, or make it something special for that day. Whatever you do, make sure the gift resonates. Make sure that the gift is not something that you overthink. Make sure the gift is something that's pleasant, and make sure that you have mutual feelings with the recipient about the joy the gift can bring. I once saw a funny meme about a guy who gave his girlfriend a vacuum because she complained that her vacuum was broken, not realizing that the gift of a vacuum meant that maybe she wasn't as cleanly or tidy as she needed to be, and that yeah, it indicated she needed to do more work. Not the best gift idea, but I think you get my point, right? Put yourself in the recipient's shoes before you buy the gift. Okay, coming at number 3, bring out the best in them. The only thing people enjoy more than being seen is being recognized for something they're really good at. Um, you know, if you offer someone a gift, it should be something that directly resonates with them. I remember someone told me about a time when they created an Instagram account for a friend, selected some of his best pictures, came up with a name, a topic, a message, and a few hashtags, and posted them. Since then, this gentleman's posted pictures daily of going to new places and taking photographs and talking to people about it. And this person has found happiness in the way that he interacts with others. No matter how crazy someone might be, or no matter how disconnected someone might be, they have talents, virtues, and good traits. And if we can find a way to capitalize or amplify those, it makes us a better person and will help uplift them. So you need to ask yourself the question, what do I really appreciate about this person that he or she would like to be recognized for? Then offer them a gift that enhances that. Maybe a notebook for writing poetry, a ticket for a singing workshop, a gourmet cookbook to help them cook. Instead of trying to find things that are meaningless, find things that amplify their best traits and give them a small bag of happiness. Okay, coming in at number 4, money, time, or energy, choosing your resources wisely. Forget about the gift itself for a moment. Just totally forget about it. Instead, focus on what makes gifts great, the value that we attribute to them. Despite what many of us may think, one study found that expensive gifts are not perceived as more enjoyable to the receiver. Just because you spend a lot of money on something to please someone doesn't mean that he or she will enjoy the gift more. It gives a lot of freedom when it comes to choosing how we use our resources. The most commonly used resources in gift giving are money, time, and energy. When you choose which of those resources you'll attribute the value to your gift, you have to take 2 things into account: the preferences of the receiver and your relationship with him or her, and what you can or feel like giving. Different people have different ways of perceiving value when they receive something. If you think about, I believe it was the 5 love languages. In the book, The 5 Love Languages, Gary Chapman distinguishes 5 main ways that people like to be shown love. 1 is words of affirmation. 2 is acts of service. 3 is receiving gifts. 4 is quality time. And 5 is physical touch. If you just stick to that framework and apply how you are going to accentuate your gifts and which of those are going to be most important to the recipient, it's going to help you best map or match how you're going to tie this gift to a special occasion, and how it's not going to become just something routine, how to be something really special. Okay, coming in at number 5, give it a meaning. What makes the Statue of Liberty one of the most famous gifts in history? Apart from the enormous size, estimated price, and complexity of assembly, what makes the statue most memorable is the meaning behind the statue, the commemoration of the alliance between France and the United States during the American Revolution and the freedom and democracy that it symbolizes. If you think about that and you think about the symbolism of the gift, a book can be a great gift, something that's truly memorable. One of the principles for Stephen Covey's Seven Habits of Highly Effective People is begin with the end in mind. In other words, before you act, define your goal, your mission, and your intentions to make sure that your actions are going to take you where you want to go. If you apply this principle to giving gifts that have depth and provide intention or meaning, it's going to help you really gain focus and go beyond just something that's aesthetically pleasing into something that someone really, really enjoys. The key is to give more, give better, and be happier. What truly makes gifts memorable are the circumstances around the way the gifts are given and what they are, and the feelings that it generates behind them. If you think about conceptually a wedding ring, it's powerful because it's offered together with someone's request to spend the rest of their life with you. The ring itself has value, but that's not the most important part. In other words, it's not about the gift itself. It's about crystallizing moments and feelings in a productive way. That is to promote closeness, happiness, and deeper relationships. I can tell you with all my heart that some of the best gifts that I've ever received cost $0. And what's so amazing is the people who give them to me, I remember the story behind the gift more than I do or care about the gift itself. And that is what brings relationships together. That's what brings people together. And that's what helps us continue to grow as humans. That's going to do it for this Friday episode. I hope that you have an amazing weekend. And until Monday, I encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.